Yes, it's tough, I suppose. Oh, it's recording now.
Yes.
Hello, class, if you're watching. Excellent.
Ja, det var Claes här. Nu är jag tillbaka. Jag satte igång inspelningen sådär. Och ja, har det gått under dagen?
Gosh, du var snabb. Bra jobbat. Tack. Right. So this noise that he's talking about, it's almost, sometimes they call it white noise, where there's a constant flow of sounds in the air that we don't even pick up. But I think there's also, we're living in a noisy society, I suppose.
Yes.
Even if you're in a rural countryside, there are noises all around, or sounds all around you all the time. Do you take those 3 minutes or any time at all to just sit in silence?
No, I don't, but I definitely would start.
It sounds like a good idea.
Yes.
The problem is taking time for it.
I haven't thought about it before, actually.
Maybe to cleanse your mind, almost like meditation.
Yes.
To just close your eyes and listen. Okay. And did he mention active listening as well?
I don't remember, actually, but I think so.
Okay, cool. And any takeaways from the second person, the second lecturer, the female? What was her name? Alison? No? Abigail, I think.
I don't remember. I listened to it, but I don't remember what it was about, actually.
I can't remember the title of it, but okay, I'll pop that one there, and let's see if anyone else has picked up on from that lecture. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good. Thank you very much.
I can take that one also. Hello,
Yeah.
Christopher here.
Hi.
Yeah, that was Abigail Spanberger, who was talking about asking questions and building relationships by asking questions and be curious.
That's right.
She has been working as a CIA officer and also working for the Congress as a Democrat.
Yep.
And she was talking about the question you should always ask to find out what's the real issues that impact lives.
Okay, interesting.
To find common ground and building relationships. Sort of identify holes and gaps.
And did she have like one specific question that she always places, or is that depending on the situation?
I think it's depending on the situation. Yeah, she was talking about when she worked at the Congress. She usually take another way in the morning to start a conversation by walking by the Republicans sort of space in the building, so they can start to talk about some small talk about common grounds and sort of building relationships to other people. It was pretty much all about asking questions in different ways.
And I suppose it goes back to the first lecture about listening. So when you've asked a question, I think many of us are focused on what we're having to answer ourselves. So sometimes when I go up and down the list and I ask you things, especially if it's in alphabetical order. So if I start with Victoria and work my way back, I'm sure by the time we come to, say, Michaela, she's not listened to the others because she's too focused on what she's going to say herself.
Yeah.
And I think that's quite common for the human brain to work that way. You're not focusing, not being egocentric in any way, not being selfish, but wanting to make a good impression, wanting to come out with the right things. Like we did yesterday in the interview, I suppose when you get asked a question, your mind has to start worrying and worrying and swirling and working his way around to come up with an answer quickly. And if there were more people in the room, you would probably not pick up on anything that anyone else said. You would just listen to the question, focus on, okay, so what am I going to answer to that? And sometimes it's, I suppose, what she's saying, stepping out of your own comfort zone and speaking to someone in an open, curious, inquisitive manner. Be open to what they've got to say and actually listen actively.
Yes, that's right.
Would you say you're a good listener?
I try to be, yeah. But it's like you say, you can take one example when you meet someone for the first time, they say their name. It's sometimes hard to remember it. So you should focus on the person who's speaking to you. Yeah, it's important.
Yes, especially when it's one of those lineups, like at a wedding or a big party, and you just go around taking people's hands. Well, you struggle just keeping your own name in your mind to remember.
Exactly. There's many ways to be better in that, but I haven't got any tips on that one yet. It's hard to remember, like you say, at a wedding or when many people say their names. It's hard to remember it.
Yeah. I think it's more difficult for me now because I don't see your faces and I can only hear your voice, etc. And I don't meet you physically. But in the classroom, I would say I'm pretty good at, after the first lesson, to when I see you the next time, I'm still shaking your hand when you come in through the door. I make sure that I say hello to everyone by name. So by the second or third lesson, I'm sure I've got your name and I can remember it, which is, to me, is important even in a short course, because I want you to see you. We should have a connection, even if it's I'm only going to see you 6 or 7 times in your life in a very short space of time, in a short time frame. But to me, that's important. I mean, I'm supposed to know who you are, to grade you, etc. And now I can just judge by the voice. And I think that makes a difference. The issue I have is it doesn't matter if people move around in the classroom. That's fine. If you move to a different seat or sit by someone else that you didn't sit next to yesterday, that's absolutely fine because I remember your face. But by the time, say, a month or 2 months go past and I see you somewhere else, so say I've had a lesson in Gothenburg and all of a sudden I meet someone in the marketplace here in Varberg, then I can probably recognize the face, but I can't say why, because you're in the wrong space, wrong time, wrong town, and I can't pinpoint where have I met you before. You could have been, I don't know, the person at the checkout at ICA or in the library, or it could be a celebrity for all I care. I can't say why I recognize your face.
Yeah.
And so it's I've got a good memory, but it's short and active, should I say. So over say 3 weeks or a month, yes, I'll keep your name in my head. After that, I can only remember your face. Which I suppose, if you have enough people coming in and out of your life, you probably need to cleanse your mind every now and then to be able to take more information in. But someone said, and I've not met this person myself, but someone said about Jan Eliasson, the UN, what was his general secretary? I can't remember his title in the UN. He wasn't the chair, I don't think, not the chairman. I think he was secretary, UN secretary. And someone who met him said he had this talent of being able to make you feel like you were the only person in the room with him. So he would recognize your face. He would remember your name, remember something about you, so that if you met a year ago, he could still remember you and remember that you liked fishing, or that you caught your first fish yesterday, like Felix was saying, or that you plant in your garden, like Pontus was saying. Something like that. He would remember, say, a year or 2 years later, just by having met you a very short space of time. And that is probably a very good talent to have for a diplomat, because you make the people in the room feel very special. Yes, that's a very good talent. Yeah, like he's genuinely interested in what you've got to say, and I think this goes for Alison Spanberger as well, that she was genuinely interested in what people had to say and trying to find the bridge between, or the connection between, different people that might not know each other or might not feel they've got anything in common. She was like the spider in the web, or a matchmaker. Yeah, exactly. Interesting character. Very, yeah. Who else wants to share something from yesterday's? Oh, some more people have joined us. Good morning, Patrice. Good morning, Judith. Nice of you to join us. Thank you. Anyone else that wants to share something from yesterday's learnings? What did you think when you listened to these 2 TED Talks? Millie, you unmuted for a very short space of time. Does that mean you want to say something?
I was about to say that Agnes is coming. She's at the doctor. So.
Oh, okay, good, excellent. Good to know. Thank you.
And I've listened to them, but I think Frida and Christopher summed it up very, very well. So I don't know.
Oh, don't chicken out. You must have taken something away with you.
I understand the frustration that, I think his name was Julian, the first man, that he had, that people don't listen the same way anymore like they used to do. And I can see what he means with that. I don't know what more to say.
Okay, well, fair enough. Do you consider yourself to be a good listener?
I actually am. I'm interested in others, so I like to ask a lot of questions, and so I actually think I am. I hope I am, at least.
Because it's one thing to be like a journalist. It's one thing to be good at asking the question, but it also it's another thing to filter through and trying to pick out what they actually mean.
Yeah, I actually like people who ask like 2 questions. If I say something and someone asks me, "Oh, why do you like that?" and I answer, and then they ask something more, like, "Oh, and why?" Because then you know that they actually listen to the answer. So I try to do that myself as well. To ask 2 times about the same subject or so.
Yes. Yeah. To delve a little bit deeper into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Good. Yeah. I'm a master at asking 2 questions in one, and that's not a good thing. So I don't wait for the first answer. So I quite often say, oh, I'm sure I've done it to you guys already. Like, do you want a break now? And do you want 10 or 15 minutes? So sometimes it's like, oh, what am I supposed to answer? Am I supposed to say 10 minutes or no? And I think I put people on the I don't know, on the spot sometimes, but then I don't get the answer that I'm expecting to get because they've heard 2 questions and don't know which one to answer. I'm doing it a lot, and I'm trying to. I think it's because who was I speaking to about that yesterday? When I talk fast, was it just running up and down the list? Was it? Well, it could have been Felicia actually that said she picked up that thing about presentation wise, that she was gonna do these pauses, and I should learn how to pause after the first question, wait for the answer, and then ask the next one. But I think you're right actually. Getting a question on something and then if you just get a yeah back, you kind of thinking, oh, are they actually listening? Are they bothered with what I've just said, or they're not paying attention? Am I boring them?
And sometimes I feel like people ask a question just to be polite and not to actually listen to the answer. So that's why I think it's a good way to ask another one to show that you've listened.
Yeah. And sometimes it's almost like they're asking a question to buy some time for themselves. It could be that they know a question's coming their way, and they have to manipulate an answer in their own head. So they're asking you a question to kind of buy time for themselves to have thinking power about something else.
Yeah, maybe.
Or make you feel at ease. I'm sure if it's a journalist, they probably sometimes ask you questions that just to get people talking, to feel as though, oh, now we're friends, I can tell you anything. But in your future role, sorry, Emily, thank you for sharing. I won't pick on you anymore. I will pick on Louise. It's your lucky day.
Hi.
Hi. Have you listened to the 2 lectures?
Yes, I have.
And did you take anything specific away with you, or did you think it was rubbish?
Well, I've heard many of these things before, but I liked it. I enjoyed the first because I like the one to be like aware of your time and take time to settle down and just be quiet for like 3 minutes, that he said. So I like to meditate, and that's what I do to take that time for myself. Yeah.
Excellent, good for you.
And the second one I think was also very good. I liked the things that you have to ask questions to get to know people and stay connected with people. I think Malie and the other guys have summarized it very well. So, yeah.
Good, but you meditate, you say, so you're, I'm sure there's tons of statistics to say that your brain then after that sort of session works much better. You're a happier person, more chilled out, all those kind of things.
Yeah, you have to listen to the inside a lot. So you come up with things that you have to do or to think about more.
Yeah. And do you do this on a daily basis?
I try to, but I'm not doing it on a daily basis. I try to, but like 2 or 3 times a week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, that's still very good. I think the people who, I have a friend who a few years ago, she was very stressed, and I think her blood pressure was racing, and she was having palpitations, hjärtklappning, those kind of things. And she went to a doctor, and the doctor said, well, you need to calm down, practice like mindfulness or yoga or meditate. And she was just about to say, but I don't have time for that. And he said, and if you're about to say you don't have time for that, I was about to say you need to do that for 1 hour per day. But now I'm going to say do it for 2 hours every day. If you don't think you've got time to put 1 hour aside just for you to be quiet, to be calm, whatever, then you need 2 hours.
Yeah, you can have like just 15 minutes, 10 minutes, or 1 minute or 3 minutes in the morning. You don't have to take a lot of time, but I feel maybe I should schedule it. So.
Yeah, I think it's about habit.
Yeah, I think so too.
I wish I did more of it. Or in my NLP brain, have you heard of NLP?
No.
Neuro-linguistic programming.
Okay.
Really interesting subject. I'm not going to get onto that now, but you can Google that later.
Yeah.
Neurolingvistisk programmering säger man på svenska. And one sentence that they usually do, instead of using that, oh, I should do this and I'm bad because I don't, blah, blah, blah. they tend to say, I haven't up to now done this on a daily basis. Alltså jag har inte gjort, än så länge har jag inte gjort det här varje dag. Eller jag har inte haft den här rutinen än. Men nu kommer jag att, ungefär. Så att man inte klankar ner på sig själv för att jag borde eller jag ska vara eller så. Tänk positivt istället. Så än så länge har jag bara gjort 3 dagar i veckan, men nu.
Ja, precis. Inte sätta press på sig själv.
Nej. Och då blir det ett positivt statement. Ja. Från och med nu så.
Ja, men det är bra.
But I think it's definitely a habit. If you set the alarm clock in the morning to wake you up, you could probably set the alarm at, if we have a break at say 10:30, if we all go away and do 10 minutes worth of meditation, we'll come back as different people, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it focuses your mind. Very good. So that's another way of listening. It's listening inwardly.
Yeah, exactly.
Brilliant. Excellent. Anyone else that want to share something about the lectures? It's okay to say you thought it was rubbish, or like Louise was saying, you've heard some of it before. And Katrine's coming into play. Hello, good morning. I can see you. Nice one. Oh, you disappeared again. I was going to say, I think it's good to repeat certain things to yourself, and sometimes when different people tell you the same thing but in a different way, or it could be your mood is different, your situation is different, the phase of life is different, whatever. So the kind of things that I'm sharing with you today, or this course, you've probably heard in different areas of your life before, or you know in Swedish and now you need to learn it in English, etc. Similarly with these kind of TED Talks or lectures, it could be loads of things that you come across in your life. You can think, oh, hang on a second, I've heard this one before, or I don't need to pay attention because I've heard this previously. Well, then you need to sort of give yourself a tap on the shoulder and sort of go, oh, hang on a second. Just because you've heard it before doesn't mean you've taken it into account or taken it to heart or learned something from it. Or maybe your situation now is different to what it was when you heard it the first time. So it could be that you could learn something new even from things that you've heard before. Does anyone agree? It is riveting to talk to a blank wall of just letters. Patrice, have you got any thoughts on that?
Actually, no, I really don't.
Okay, you don't have to agree with me. That's fine. I won't go any further into that. My feeling, at least, thank you for answering me, at least. My feeling is more that sometimes, especially if you, like, I'm an entrepreneur, so I listen to quite a lot of webinars and stuff. And people from all over the world could talk about virtually the same subject, but they say things slightly differently. They use a few different words that might gel with me in a better way or harmonize with what I feel in a better way. It might be that I'm in a better mood. I've got my cup of coffee, or I'm sitting outside listening to the birds tweeting as well and in the sunshine, whatever. Different people are gonna on a different day at a different time with slightly different words. They're gonna tell me roughly the same thing but in a different way, and then I can learn something new. Or perhaps it's more of a, what they say in English, eureka moment, like an aha moment. Like when the polletten trillar ner, vad man kan säga på svenska kanske. Eller det där aha-upplevelsen att all of a sudden something clicks into action. Like, okay, that's where I can use this. Oh, okay, so that's what that person meant 3 months ago when I heard it in a different lecture. And that's another way of listening, that if you can listen actively to everything that's said on those kind of lectures or on the news or whatever, instead of, as soon as you have that thought of, I've heard this before, try to switch on your brain in a different way and think, okay, I've heard it before, but how does it apply to me now? How can I utilize this in my daily life now? What's the difference to when I heard it the last time? I think that's a learning for me, at least. So if I go to, well, it's not many physical meetings nowadays, but if I go to a seminar and then you're supposed to mingle around with different people and chit chat and express who you are and talk about yourself, etc. I'm thinking, I've done this before, it's boring, I'm going to meet the same kind of people. Whether it's in my hometown or Gothenburg or Stockholm, it's roughly the same sort of people. They're all entrepreneurs. I'm bored with this sort of thing. If I instead go with an open mind, what will I learn today? If I ask roughly the same questions as I did a month ago, I'm probably going to get different answers. Especially now in Corona times, people are willing to give away different things from themselves, sharing stories that they might not have shared before. So that's at least something that I take away. As soon as my brain starts telling me that, oh, this is dull, this is boredom, I've heard this before, I try to tell my brain that, hang on a second, you can probably learn something new even from this. So I'm going to bring Felix on again. You didn't listen to your to the homework bit, but what did you do yesterday?
Hello.
Hello.
I'm out for a walk, and I'm home in like 10 minutes. But
Oh no, you don't have to
went,
apologize. Enjoy your walk. Tell me what you're seeing, what you're doing.
right now I'm at Skatos.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I could put on. You want me to put on the camera?
Yeah. Oh, Skatos is beautiful.
Oh, that's a selfie camera. How do I switch the?
Oh, just can you? Nice. And obviously good with social distancing as well.
It is.
Excellent.
Yeah. So, but yesterday I went fishing actually again. No luck yesterday though.
Oh, you've got the fishing bug.
I do. But I went to a place called Kode. I don't know if you've been there.
I know of it. I haven't been.
All right, but it wasn't that many fishing. It was kind of cold. It was windy, so it wasn't the best fishing experience. I'm a little bit disappointed, but it was nice company. So
Good.
yeah.
Anything?
Other than that, I finished the Hurricane movie.
Good.
Yeah. Same day I went without subtitles this time. So the only.
Okay.
Yeah, but as I said a couple of days ago, it's kind of easy. It's kind of understandable since it's not that complicated English. So, but yeah.
Good. Thank you. That's
What was
fine.
your
Thank you
question?
for sharing. I like the fact you're out exercising, so you're keeping your brain alive as well. That's good.
Yeah. I usually do this morning walk earlier, but I woke up 8:30 this morning, so otherwise I would be in front of my computer now.
Okay. Well, that's the bonus of having distance learning, isn't it? So enjoy.
Yeah.
I'm happy you're with us with your headphones at least. That's great.
I am.
Thank you. Anyone else that has anything else to share? Otherwise, we'll do a quick recap from yesterday. Okay, silence. Right, so what did we do yesterday then? Marcus, could you give us a brief summary of what we did yesterday?
Sure.
Good morning.
Well, good morning. Well, we spent a lot of time sharing our CVs to each other and discussing, well, how you can describe yourself in an job interview, and what you should think of as an interviewer, which was quite new for the most of us, I think. And then we spent a lot of time talking to each other and had a recap in the afternoon how it went.
Excellent, thank you. And did you manage to stay in English all the way through?
No, not all the way, but the majority of the time.
Good.
So I think it feels more natural for each day.
Good, excellent. It will be awkward because you all know each other from before. Similarly, if you were at your internship place, for instance, because you know them from before, you're in the same sort of environment as before, or in an office, wherever. If it's in Sweden, it will feel strange to talk English to each other. But it's good that you're trying as much as you can to make the most out of this experience. And you were with Victoria yesterday, right? Yeah. Are you together today as well?
No.
Okay. Did you share? So did you give each other some feedback on the letters and how you'd, I don't know, the layout of your CV, for instance, or what kind of words you use?
Yeah, we tried to do some improvements. I think with the structures of the sentences and with different words that we were using. So try to improve them a little bit, of course.
Yeah, it's not necessarily that you have to change something in your CV or in your letter, but just talking about it. Why did you use this particular word? Why did you use sentence? Why didn't you use this sentence, etc.? If you talk about it with a partner, I think you get different insights. And sometimes you need to change, and sometimes you don't. And at least you can help the other person understand as well. And yeah. Perhaps come up with new phrases together. If any of you want to share something with me on email, feel free. If you want to have a look at anything, that's fine. That goes for all of you, of course. And I've had some more questions on email with regards to the exams. Well, thank you for sharing, Marcus. With regards to the exam, is there anyone that wants to bring anything up right here and right now? Any questions that you might have? I think I've answered all the emails, so that's fine. But is there anyone that's sort of thinking, oh, the rest of us probably want to know this as well? Good morning, Agnes. Nice to see you pop in. Good morning. Yeah, so we're just doing a recap from yesterday, Agnes, for your benefit. We also went, so we had the interview that took a long time, didn't it? And then we went very quickly through, I showed you some abbreviations and acronyms. Can anyone remember what an acronym is? Don't all rush at once. An acronym is when you pick the first letter of, say, 4 different words, like ASAP, as soon as possible. An abbreviation är en förkortning. Man säger akronym även på svenska. Abbreviation is either a word that's been shortened, like what can I give you? Attention, for instance. ATTN, punkt. Skriver man till exempel på ett brev. att om man har en firmanamn högst upp och så kan man skriva attention, alltså for attention of egentligen, FAO. Men man kan också skriva attention, ATTN, och så namnet och sen adressen. Det finns massvis med sådana. Och jag la upp, I posted one of those long lists of abbreviations and acronyms in your ping pong environment. Helpful to know, obviously, to be aware of, but I also think it's if you, as much as you can, stay away from them, unless you realize that, say, within your business we always use this, or within our company we always use these kind of acronyms and abbreviations. Then it's fine. It's just to make sure that the person who is on the other end of the phone or other end of the email understands what you mean. But it obviously saves a lot of time if you're going to write an email and don't have to type out all the words. That's great. I also mentioned with regards to abbreviations that in formal writing, don't use can't, won't, etc. where you've skipped the letter. I want you to write out do not, can not, I am instead of I'm, and so on. So any formal writing, it doesn't matter if it's an email or a letter, an official document like an offer or a quotation, a contract, anything like that should not have those kind of verbs that have been contracted like this. What else did we go through? We mentioned what we did in week 1 with regards to how you address someone with the title, how you put a comma instead of an exclamation mark. I keep on repeating this. What I said this morning about repetition. It's somewhere along the line it will click in and you'll remember it. It was about dates, decimal points, comma, and currencies. But those are all on the slides from last week, so you can pick up on those in ping pong. And what else? It was industry jargon. If that was a good thing or a bad thing, and I think we agreed on it's a good thing as long as you and your colleagues, peers, the other people in your business, as long as you're speaking the same language and everyone's understanding, jargon is fine. Perhaps not with the end customer though, because they're not included in your industry in the same way. We had some 10 cool things, great things about yourself, and towards the end we were doing a sensation, selling a sensation. Oh yeah, and I actually mentioned as well, I put up on the in ping pong, it was I think it was called commonly confused, so a range of words that are either sounding more or less the same or spelled more or less the same, but meaning different things. And I just encourage you to take a look at that offline. You don't have to do that with me. I also, I think, put up a load of project management, like a glossary of project management concepts, phrases. I hope so, at least. Let me just double check that was posted as well.
You did. I saw it yesterday.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm not sure how much you've gone into project management up to now in your course or a part of your internship. Has anyone had to be part of a project or a project lead even? No. Okay. Well, I'll probably start with that actually, just to run through that list, because it's I just want to show you a couple of things that could be of interest to you. Oh, being locked out. Hold on a second. Let me see if I can get back in here. And then I need to share this. Oh, no. that one. Can you see that now? Like a long list of words?
Yes.
Yeah. So if you... jag svarar på svenska. Nu står ju detta redan på er pingpongsida då. Men några olika saker som kan vara bra att veta. Jag tror att agile hade vi i och för sig tidigare. Det kan man även använda om produktionsprocesser till exempel. Olika saker som händer i ett händelseförlopp. Hur flexibel måste man kunna vara? Hur snabbt ska man kunna anpassa sig och så vidare. Föränderligt, flexibelt, den typen av grejer. Men en one-off som vi står högst upp. Det kan vara till exempel om man diskuterar ett projekt att man säger att det här behöver vi inte ha som ett projekt för det här är ju bara en one-off. Det är liksom en enstaka händelse. Det är inte något som ska implementeras för resten av vårt liv utan det här är något som vi kör lite vid sidan om. Man kan ha ett projekt som bara är, det här är till exempel en kampanj. Det är en one-off campaign. Man behöver inte återupprepa det om ett år eller ha det som ska hända varje månad eller så, utan det är verkligen en enstaka händelse. Då används det uttrycket one-off. Och det är inte bara inom projektledning, det kan vara inom annat också. Men något som händer bara en gång eller en sak som kanske bara ska vara tillfälligt, ska finnas tillgängligt tillfälligt. Vad ska vi ha mer gå igenom? Workaround kan vara när man har hittat till exempel en viss process att det är någonting som inte riktigt funkar och det är någonting vi måste hitta lösningen på det. Men tills vi kan det så behöver vi hitta en workaround. Hur kan vi, om kunden av någon anledning inte kan mejla in sina ordrar. Vi måste hitta en lösning på det problemet för mejlen funkar inte. Då kan vår workaround vara att de får ringa in ordrarna istället till exempel. Och jag kan tänka mig nu under coronatider så skulle man kunna hitta massvis med workarounds som temporära lösningar på problem som kanske man inte har haft tidigare. Man försöker lösa problem långsiktigt men just nu behöver vi hitta något ett snabbt tillvägagångssätt för att lösa problemet. Det är bara en temporär lösning men vi hittar någonting just nu som det här fungerar för tillfället.
Åsa?
Ja?
Ditt ljud är lite konstigt. Har du möjlighet att ha hörlurar eller något? Det blir rundgång eller något? Utan det är bara jag. Det brusar typ.
Det brusar? Ja. Nej men jag sätter i.
Tack.
Tack så mycket. Hör ni mig bättre nu?
Mycket bättre. Tack.
Ja, jag försöker inte dra den här mikrofonen upp ner. Det kan vara att min dator är väldigt varm så det kan vara fläkten som har gått igång. Det är kanske det som brusar. Ja, strunt samma. Då hör ni mig nu.
Ja.
Bra att du säger till för annars blir inspelningen inte någon höjdare heller. Toppen, tack så mycket. Någonting annat som varje projekt har, fast kanske inte riktigt så uttalat alltid, men automatiskt har man någonting som heter stakeholders, alltså intressenter eller aktörer som har med projektet att göra. Det kan både vara sådana som kanske står utanför själva projektledningsbiten eller projektgruppen, men som ändå på något sätt berörs av det som händer. Det kan också vara chefen som kanske ansvarar högsta hönset i firman eller något sånt där som också, det blir en effekt för honom någon annanstans, men han är en stakeholder också. Oftast så om man tänker om det ska vara ett projekt som involverar till exempel en hel firma, det ska vara ett nytt datasystem till exempel. Då kan du ha många stakeholders i olika avdelningar. Hela företaget är ju meddraget i detta. Men, och alla har då olika intressen naturligtvis. Men du kanske inte har så många som inkluderar i själva projektgruppen. Case study kanske ni har en fallstudie som man säger på svenska. Inte de som trillar ner då utan Någon form av historia, dokumentation, research som man har gjort helt enkelt på någonting annat liknande. Ett liknande koncept som ska ut eller så. Case study i ert fall, vad skulle det kunna vara? För er typ av arbete i framtiden?
Jag tänker väl kanske något slags något exempel på en uppgift som gjorts tidigare liksom, som kan vara bra att kunna.
Precis, absolut. Det kan ju vara en liknande produkt på samma marknad, eller kanske er produkt på en annan marknad, som man liksom tar till sig den informationen som har gjorts tidigare, eller till och med en marknadsundersökning kanske.
Ja, precis.
Nu vet jag inte exakt vad ert arbete med blåkläder gick ut på, men jag tänker att det är ju en sån typ av case study kanske som man sen kan gå tillbaka till om Claes och Daniel väljer att använda det som ni har skrivit ner om ert arbete i nästa års kull. Då skulle man kunna säga att då blir det en case study för dem. De får ta del av någonting som ni redan har gjort för att lära sig av det.
Jajamän, ja, precis. Det var det jag tänkte.
Perfekt,
ja.
tack så mycket. Jag hoppas att jag har lyckats liksom fånga på högersidan här på svenska exakt vad det är för någonting. Men den här communications log kan också vara intressant. Och då är det väl mera egentligen för att visa att jag har delgett den här avdelningen vad de behöver göra innan vi kör nästa test med programvaran till exempel. Eller jag har pratat med den och den personen. Och då behöver man kanske skriva ner det så att det visas i projektets gång att vi har gjort dem och vi har bockat av de här grejerna under tiden så vi kan komma till nästa, vad de kallar gate till exempel. Att man nästa avsnitt som är ett avstamp in i nästa bit av projektet. Så den kan vara bra att ha med sig någon form av kommunikation så det inte bara är lösa e-mail. Scope är väldigt viktigt att sätta först. Så när man gör en projektplan om detaljerad då som vad som ska ingå, vad det får kosta, delmål, tidsperiod, när ska det levereras och så vidare. Då är det viktigt att få med det här som heter scope. Alltså vad är det för omfattning? Och om man tänker en reklamkampanj som ett projekt så är det ju viktigt att den här omfattningen verkligen styrs upp med kunden eller inom er egen firma. Så att den som har kundkontakten vet exakt vad de vill ha. Och när den då kommer tillbaka till er agency och säger nu ska vi göra det här för den här kunden. Exakt vad är det som ska ingå. Så att de inte efteråt säger fast jag skulle ju få den där affischen uppsatt också i Kungsträdgården i Stockholm. Det har ni inte gjort. Fast det har vi inte med i omfattningen. Vi har tv-reklamsnuttar varje vecka under 3 månader. Det beror ju lite på liksom exakt vad det är för projekt. Men just att man verkligen sätter de här ramarna. Sen kan man alltid gå utanför dem efteråt och säga okej, vi lägger till det här och då kommer det kosta x antal kronor mer. Eller då kommer vi behöva flytta fram deadline till ett annat datum för att vi lägger till det här. Det går jättebra. Men att alla vet vad den här omfattningen egentligen är för någonting. Väldigt tydligt, klart och ringmärkt liksom. Det här är vad vi ska åstadkomma. Och när. Det är omfattningen, det är scope och det är jätteviktigt. För då på engelska säger man manage expectations. Att du behöver som projektledare eller som en del av ett projekt kunna ta hand om andra människors funderingar på vad som ska hända. Expectations är, vad ska man säga på svenska då? En bra tankegång där, Åsa Bengtsson. Men jag kan inte riktigt hitta det svenska ordet. Om jag får säga på engelska. If I'm managing someone's expectations, I'm making sure that they're not disappointed. It's better to be firm, clear, obvious in what's going to happen and how you're going to do something, what's going to be included, when can you deliver, what's the budget, all of those kind of things. If you're open, honest, and clear about those kind of things in advance, then it's easier to manage someone's expectations because you've outlined what they can expect from you, vad de kan förvänta sig av dig. If you're managing someone's expectations, då tar man hand om någon annans förväntningar. Man ser till att de förväntningarna blir uppfyllda. Om man sen vill ha flera saker utöver det så tar man det vid sidan om. Och då också är väldigt tydlig med att så kommer det att få konsekvenser för projektet. Bra. Resources. That's a very good English word. And we even use it in Swedish now. I think we even say human resources för personalavdelning, HR-avdelning. Resources could be people, machine time, or money. It could be funds. It could be also knowledge. Anything that you could use as an asset, också en resurs. Use as something that the project needs. Most of the time, I think people play a big part in it and money play a big part in it. But your experience, your ways of working, anything like that could also be included. And in an factory-based environment, like a production, for a producer, it's obviously important with machine time as well. And KPIs. Did you use that phrase with blåkläder? Anyone that wants to answer? KPI.
I don't quite understand what that means in a concrete way.
Okay, good. Excellent. Well, then I'll take it in Swedish to really explain. Thank you for sharing. Jag vet inte om man faktiskt också säger KPI på svenska numera, men det är alltså nyckeltal. Vad det skulle kunna vara om man inte bara inom projekt, men inom alla typer av branscher skulle man kunna ha sådana statistik egentligen då, som betyder någonting för firman. För marknadsföring så tror jag att KPI som ni behöver möta gentemot er kund skulle kunna vara antal följare, antal lyssnare, inköpta varor, hur många har klickat på annonsen, den typen av statistik som kunden vill veta och vad det leder till. Det är ju svårt för mig som lekman att säga att ja, men om jag lägger ut en bild på Instagram så kommer den att klickas hem av så här många personer och det kommer leda till x antal inköp av mina produkter. Det kan inte jag, men det när ni har gjort klart er kurs åtminstone så kan ju ni sånt. Och det är den typen av KPI eller nyckeltal som era kunder nog antagligen vill komma och se, för att ni behöver kunna säga att om ni köper den här typen av kampanj av oss så förespår vi att det här kommer att hända. Och att man sen gör en utvärdering efteråt. Så det är en form av, statistik är ett bra ord, men någonting som man förutspår tidigare att det här kommer att hända, och att sen man gör uppföljning under tiden, och när projektet är avslutat så kommer man tillbaka till det och säger okej, det här var vad vi sa skulle hända, har det hänt?
Okej.
Så i er bransch som sagt så skulle jag gissa att man sätter KPIs runt hur nöjda är kunderna, hur många följare har vi, och specifikt då kanske med reklamsnuttar. Man kan ju göra olika tester med en viss typ av färg, en viss typ av typsnitt på ena inlägget, och sen gör man en lite annorlunda, samma budskap men lite annorlunda på B-inlägg, och så jämför man dem. Om man vill nå kunder i Haparanda, är det någonting speciellt vi behöver inkludera för att de ska känna sig lockade? Använder de ett annat språk? Alla sådana saker som egentligen och som kunden ber av, fast kanske med luddiga ord, behöver ni tratta ner och säga okej, dessa nyckeltalen skulle jag kunna använda för det här. Jag skulle kunna säga att ni får 100 000 nya följare och det leder i sin tur till 10 000 nya kunder som fysiskt går in och handlar i er butik. Och handlar jag lite med aktier till exempel. Så på börsen, på Avanza, där jag har mitt konto, då brukar de ha nyckeltal som till exempel med när får man utdelning, hur stor är den utdelningen i procentsats, hur länge har företaget funnits, hur mycket ökning har de haft under det senaste året i aktiekapital, den typen av saker. Jag som en översättningsfirma har inte jättemycket KPIs mot mina kunder. Jag har mer än jag ska leverera en text. Jag har ett slutdatum på den texten till exempel. Men om jag jobbar med ett hotell här i stan, som när jag levererar deras hemsidetexter eller broschyrtexter, jag har ju då bara ett slutdatum att det ska vara så likt deras känsla på svenska som möjligt fast på ett annat språk, och att jag levererar enligt deras deadline då. I ett dokument som de kan använda och klippa klistra bäst de vill. Men de har ju säkert i sin tur, vad ska den annonsen leda till? Vad ska den broschyren leda till? Och då tror jag att de sätter sina typer av KPIs inom firman. Så om vi kommer ut med den här broschyren till midsommar, vad har det för påverkan på vår sommargäster? Hur många mer gäster får vi om vi skickar ut den här vid midsommar eller jämfört med att skicka ut den vid påsk? Den typen av frågeställningar som man ställer för att sen kunna göra en uppföljning på det. Svarade det på frågan? Alltså, förlåt, såg ju inte jag. Vem var det som sa att man inte riktigt förstod från början?
Det var jag. Men jag förstår nu. Så.
Ja. Mm. Känns det som att jag har fångat upp för er bransch vad det skulle kunna vara för nyckeltal?
Ja, det tror jag.
Någorlunda.
Ja, jajamän.
Sen kan det ju vara att man blir, att även om man jobbar inom en viss bransch, att man blir satt på ett sådant projekt som inte egentligen har med branschen att göra. Att man ska, man ska flytta kontor. Då är det ett projekt. Vad är nyckeltal på det? Ja, men då kanske det är att vi ska hinna flytta x antal personer inom en viss tidpunkt. Vi kanske behöver se till att vi har bättre bandbredd på, eller bättre bredband. Jag vet inte, finns fler telefoner, jag har ingen aning. Men sådana saker som man skulle vilja då göra en uppföljning av senare. Och kan vi ta emot fler kunder på det kontoret? Skulle vi kunna ha, behöver vi fler kvadratmeter? Jag vet inte. Så då kan man sätta ett projekt bara på att hitta en ny kontorslokal och när det ska genomföras. Jag var med i ett projekt där de skulle byta datasystem på min firma. Det var väldigt intressant. För att det hade gjorts, eller snarare inte byte, en uppgradering av. Och det gör man ju någorlunda regelbundet. Så jag tror att den sista uppdateringen kanske var 3 år innan, något sånt där. Så de hade ju ett visst protokoll i what should be achieved, how they should go about things, the ways of working within different departments. Jag går tillbaka till engelska lite snabbigt. So in different departments, we knew what had to be done at a certain time to be able to do tests so that the next department could join in and be connecting to the back end of the first department. So I was in manufacturing at that particular point, so we needed to make sure that the factory was on board. They had to do certain things on the production side, and when they had finished their production, they had to, in the test environment, in the computer system, they had to put in those kind of products that had been made. They had to put that into the warehouse. The warehouse staff took over. They had to do tests in their area to see that they, in the test environment, could put the different products in different shelves, in different categories, and then be able to pick them out from there, and the system would follow them. When they were happy with that particular silo, should we say, that particular part of the course of events. They signed off in the test environment to say, okay, our bit works. Now the logistics company can take over. So logistics or transport company would come and pick up the goods in the warehouse. They show that that's possible, that the delivery note printed out, alltså fraktsedeln printades ut, that they got the invoice printed, and that went with the goods physically in the lorry. The lorry transported the goods to the customer, as in a fake customer in our test environment. The customer received the goods in, and that triggered an invoice to be paid. Then the invoicing department went in to say, okay, so it's made the invoice, and the customer has now come in to pay the invoice. That works. Customer service could show that they've received an order confirmation, so that everyone in the different silos or different departments were involved in a large course of events that would eventually lead to the customer getting his physical product. And the KPIs would be different between the different departments. But it was, and you're looking at the word below, it's a work stream. So it could be a work stream within one department, or within a specific task, or before a different milestone. Så delmålsuppgifter till exempel. Så att man kunde dela upp i första biten här. Det är, vi får in en order, fabriken ska producera, sen ska lagret ta över, de får in varorna, de lägger det på hyllan och så vidare. Då skulle man kunna säga att den första biten är ett delmål. Har det här fungerat innan vi skickar ut varan? Ja, det har det. Bra. Då har vi ju Key Performance Indicators. Där är att vi ska kunna tillverka x antal varor inom en viss tidsrymd. Vi ska kunna få in varorna i vårt system. Det fungerar. Att transportbolaget ska kunna hämta varorna i vårt system, och det ska trigga igång en faktura. Att man ser arbetsflödet, och så sätter man vissa nyckeltal inom varje avdelning, att det här måste fungera, det här ska vi göra en uppföljning på, allting som skulle kunna bli ett problem i framtiden. Och när man har gått igenom den testperioden i ett projekt, i det här fallet då i ett testsystem, då kan man säga okej, nu är vi redo att gå live, och så trycker man in det här live-systemet istället, så att vi blir live på den nya versionen. Och det kräver ju en hel del om man har ett internationellt företag som finns i alla världsdelar, alla på olika tidszoner och så vidare. Men det kan ju vara sådana typer av projekt som man blir involverad i på en arbetsplats som egentligen inte har med branschen att göra. Och då kan det också vara bra att kolla lite på den här typen av glosor, så man vet vad som försiggår bakom stängda dörrar, eller att man blir inkallad som en del i ett projekt hos kunden eller hos en leverantör. Jag hade ju då till exempel logistikbolaget som en del i vårt projekt, för att de var tvungna att visa att de kunde hämta varorna även i testsystemet, att de kunde plocka upp, och att det triggade någonting annat någon annanstans. Men de här ligger som sagt på er pingpong, och jättebra om ni vill kika på dem. Får gärna ställa frågor. Vi kan ta upp det här imorgon som en frågestund också, när vi kommer tillbaka till det. Bra där. Toppen. Det tror jag var ungefär vad vi gick igenom igår. And we finished off with selling a sensation. That I think we discussed the fact that we weren't selling just a bicycle or a piece of bread or a new shirt or whatever it may be. I've got a chat function. I'm sorry, I can't see the chat function when I've got another screen on the run at the same time. So, Michaela, thank you for mentioning it out loud instead. It's better that you're talking to me. And Louise, thank you for agreeing with Michaela. And I hope you can both hear me better now. I'm sorry, I'm not very up on that, using that chat function properly. Sorry about that.
That's okay. I just didn't want to interrupt you. You were in the middle of something.
Oh, feel free to interrupt. That goes for all of you.
Okay, will do.
I hope you would have done in a classroom environment. So Feel free to unmute whenever you like.
Okay, thank you.
Excellent. So yeah, that was a little bit about project management, and for the few of you that were with us at late in the afternoon yesterday when we were selling a sensation, we were talking about different words that could be good to use, and or concepts or phrases that could be good to use when you're selling a product rather than a person. So in the interview, you're selling yourself, or as an employer, you might be selling your employer brand, your company to the job applicant. So the person who's applying for a job, you want to make sure that you're making a good impression and you're selling your brand so that the person that's applied for the job wants to come and work for you. But in terms of selling a product or a service, I'm using mugs all the time. If I'm the mug manufacturer or mug producer, I'm not just selling that mug, am I? I'm selling a container for some nice drink. I'm selling a moment in the garden with the sunshine, and I can have a nice drink outside. Or I think it was Petrit yesterday who mentioned the environmentally friendly. Maybe you're selling the feeling that you're doing something that's morally good, that you're an ethical person.
Yeah, exactly. I said that. Yes, that you're selling a concept. I think that using the right concept is very important in modern day marketing, because it can either decrease or increase the value of your service or your product.
Yes. And it's finding who's your ideal customer. Who are you really talking to? Because you might get others that, in this instance, just want a cup. But or in your experience, in your example, if you're selling an organic T-shirt, for instance, made of organic cotton, you are going to get the ones that are really interested in the cotton production, that are really interested in organic, sustainable lifestyle, but you will also get the ones that just want a T-shirt. And those are kind of the bonus ones, aren't they? So go for the ideal customer being the organic, loving person that wants to do something good for the world. And then you might get the T-shirt wearers as a bonus. And I want you to, we're going to take a break now, but I want you to, for the next 15 minutes while you're outside jumping around or having a coffee, I want you to think about something that some kind of advert that you've seen or heard in the last week or two that spoke to you, that you felt, oh, right, this is, I'm gelling with this message. I'm liking what I'm seeing or hearing. I can definitely see myself as a, whatever it is, as a Mac user, or in this, I'm using a Samsung. So if I've seen a Samsung ad, I might think, oh yes, I'm definitely a Samsung kind of person because I've seen this advert and it shows really cool, hip people out on the beach using their Samsungs. I don't know, for whatever reason. What kind of language or what kind of words triggered your tribe mentality? What do you want to belong to? All right. So 17 minutes past. I'm going to be slightly kinder to you now. So let's do 35 past back here. So 25 to 11. All right. 10:35 back here.
Perfect.
Perfect.
Good.
See you.
Hey, Åsa. Hallå?
Jag är här, jag är här.
Ja. Det jag tänkte, jag har tandläkartid.
Åh, vad kul.
Ja, det beror på. Jag får se på något positiva.
Ja.
Men den är 1:00. Så, och jag har en bit, det är borta där jag bodde förr, så det tar en stund att åka. Så jag kommer att försvinna lite kort innan lunch och sen vet jag inte riktigt när jag är tillbaka.
Okej.
Hur ser upplägget ut idag eftermiddag?
Grupparbete hade jag ju tänkt till en viss del. Men jag vet inte hur ni har det. Är det så att man kan jobba 3 och 3 istället för 2 och 2? Hur svårt är det för er?
Nej, alltså vi är rätt vana att jobba lite större grupper, det är vi. I alla fall när vi har grupparbeten och så. Alltså mindre övningar tror jag inte det gör. Eller jag kan inte tala för alla, men...
Ja, men vad bra. Men då tror jag att om jag parar ihop er 3 och 3 så kan ju du då hoppa ur och sen komma tillbaka igen. Men bra att du säger till, tack.
Bra, men då, om du undrar varför jag lämnar mötet sen så vet du varför.
Ja, men tack. Också så sköna pengar att spendera, eller hur?
Vad sa du?
Också sådär sköna pengar att spendera.
Ja, jag är fortfarande gratis tandvård.
Åh gud vad härligt. Ja, men då ska du absolut utnyttja.
Jag är till och med 24, jag är 24 så det är på håret.
Ja, bra. Gött. Ja, men utnyttja den tiden då och så hörs vi senare. Tack för att du sa till.
Ja, det är fara. Kanon, hej.
Hej. Hello again.
Hello.
Hello.
So what we're doing today? It was that sensation, wasn't it? Yes. Okay, so going back to that, to our marketing words. What have you been thinking about for the last 17 minutes? What kind of message gets you going? What kind of tribe are you involved in? Open microphone, so I don't have to shout out any names. Feel free to share. Oh, you are a chatty bunch, aren't you? Right, well, I'm going to pick you up then. Agnes, how is your sound today? Can you talk to us today?
I hope so.
Excellent. Nice to hear your voice. How are you doing?
Thank you. Very good, thank you. The sun is shining.
And
that makes me happy always.
Yeah, it makes wonders for your mind, doesn't it?
Yeah. So I've been thinking of one campaign. I don't know if you've seen it. It's Volvo's the tower trucks. There are like trucks, 4 trucks on each other.
No, I haven't seen it. Tell me about
it. So it's Volvo released 4 new I don't know the word, lastbilar.
Lorry?
Trucks, like trucks.
Ja, lorry
Yeah.
truck. Ja.
Lorry, yeah. So 4 new models. And in this campaign, they had the 4 of them standing on top of each other, and on the top, the CEO was standing.
Oh, all right. Cool.
Yeah. So I like that because I like the way I feel impressed by the advertising.
Yep.
And I think that Volvo keep on doing that.
Yes, I would agree. I think maybe. Yeah, I'm impressed because even though they're an old brand, if you know what I mean, their experience, their distinguished brand, they know what they're doing, they still keep on coming up with new ideas and new ways to portray themselves.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
I think so.
do you drive a car?
Yeah, I do.
And
a Volvo.
I was going to say, is it a Volvo?
It is. Maybe that's why I'm impressed as well. You have to see it. It's so cool. They also have behind the scenes video, and you can see when the CEO is standing on the top. He's actually standing on the top of 4 trucks.
Wow.
Yeah, you have to see it.
I've made a note of it. I'll go away and look at it.
Yeah.
So we were talking mostly about words, but there's something else that you're attracted to there then. And especially car manufacturers. I think that's an interesting concept because it's a large amount of money that you're gonna spend on a car, right? Even if you buy a second-hand car, it's still a lot of money. So I think in the car industry, I think people could be attracted to a brand, feel a part of a brand, even though they can't afford that specific car, or maybe don't drive a car at all. I'm sure you can have Volvo people, if you know what I mean, that don't drive a car or that drive a Skoda or a Kia because for whatever reason they couldn't find a Volvo in their price range or not in the right color or whatever. So cars, I think it's a tricky thing I think it's a long-term marketing thing.
Yeah. And Volvo are good at their words as well because they always push for safety. And I think they did this in a way with the Volvo trucks as well. And stability in this case. So yeah.
So they're using what we spoke about yesterday was imagery. Alltså bildspråk om man säger så. Och kanske då, perhaps they don't have to use many words because they're showing rather than speaking.
Yeah, exactly.
were there any words, as in what was communicated? Was there any verbal noise?
Like the trucks are stable.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't say like words that much. They just wanted you to feel it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that could be just as powerful.
Yeah.
So that's fine. Why I asked that was more to do with do the words that they use match what they're actually showing?
Yeah.
Sometimes I think the link isn't always perfect. In some brands, you can see a written communication, or you can hear someone speak about something and think, oh yeah, that sounds good, and then you watch the background or you watch a video while someone is talking and you're thinking that doesn't correlate. Vad säger man på svenska? Att de inte liksom hör ihop, de harmoniserar inte.
Yeah.
Ja. But good, thank you for sharing, excellent.
Thank you.
Who have I not picked on yet today? Christopher, you are unmuted. I've spoken to you.
Yes, I can take the next one.
Excellent, yeah, go.
I can't call it a tribe because I even can't remember the brand of the advertisement, but it spoke to me right to the heart because I live in a house. Mm-hmm. And when you got a house, it's a lot of work to do. And among that, it's the painting job of the house.
Yep.
So I got this paper called Villalivet once a month.
Yep.
And there was an advertisement with a man sitting in his garden, looking at his white painted house. And it just said, the feeling when you're done. And that kind of attracted me right to the heart, because this or next summer we're going to paint the house, and it's quite boring to paint. I think most of people think it's not that funny, and it's all about that, the feeling when you're done with that. That's a great part when it comes to painting house. So I think that was a great
hard work and a lot of money.
Yeah, that's right. So that was kind of excellent value sentence, I think, just to put the words on that feeling when you look at the house and it's done. I think it was Flygerfärg.
Okay.
But it was just the sentence that that attracted me. Yeah.
Yeah, it captured you, the whole conversation.
It kind of reminded me that soon it's my turn to paint my house also.
There's a few adverts actually on TV I've seen. I think one of them is Demi-däck. Och då är slogan någonting sånt där som att Demi-däckare målar gärna, men inte ofta. Eller något sånt där.
Yeah, that's right. That's also a good one.
Och sen är det en till som går hela tiden nu på TV just. Men vad är det för märke?
The old man who said, there's an old man who says, now I remember which...
Ja, just det, precis.
Which paint I painted the house with. And then he forgot
and then
it.
He forgets. Yeah, exactly. But there's another one that's running at the moment with where you can understand that there's a family, like the girl in the family, she's growing up.
Yeah. He says, watch out, it's new painted.
Yes, exactly.
Just joking.
Yeah. No. Yeah, just joking.
Yeah. That's also kind of, the value to be painting.
They don't need, I mean, you get the feel of it as in, it's the same sort of thing as what you just said. It's just
that's right.
More pictures than words.
Yes, they put a good feeling on the boring thing with painting. They turn it around to the value of how it feels afterwards.
Yeah. And I think that feeling of that sentence that you mentioned could almost work for say a gym membership as well, couldn't it? Apart from the fact that with the gym you've never done, so you have to like change a word instead of the feeling when you're done, the feeling when you finish a session, for instance.
that's right.
Yeah, when you come home from your run or whatever it is. But
that's right.
that sums it up. It doesn't. You don't need any more than that. But you do need the picture with it to know what's being sold. Yes,
that's right. And when I had my internship this winter or this spring, I was kind of working together in a group where they put words into a gym in Borås called Yrkeshögskola. And they had the new tagline was "Make yourself proud." So that's kind of the same thing.
Yeah,
that's a good one, I think. Make yourself proud.
Absolutely.
When you have been to the gym, you feel proud. So that's a good one.
So then we've established it's not necessarily it's not just a paint you're after. It's a sensation, but also that the words, depending on how they use them, could be powerful in different ways. So in this sentence, you also need the picture with it. If you didn't have the picture, you would have to add a couple of more words, but it might be enough with just one more sentence, and you would get the same feeling.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you for sharing. Very good.
Thank you. Thank you.
Michaela.
Yes.
What kind of tribe are you? Where do you belong?
By tribe, you mean?
Well, what kind of brand do you think you would want to belong to?
Oh, that's so hard. You asked the hardest questions.
That's my job.
I don't really know. Actually, I have to think a little bit more about that, I think, before I can answer that.
But if I can interrupt you, that's an interesting answer, because I think there are plenty of people out there that refuse to stick to one pigeonhole.
Yeah.
And almost without noticing it, unconsciously or subconsciously, they will steer away from every aspect that could be linked to a certain bracket, a certain man säger pigeonhole, vad säger man, som ett postfack liksom, att man inte fastnar i en viss genre eller så. Jag tror att I think there's plenty of people in the world that would whether they're aware of it or not, I don't know, but subconsciously make choices that are going against what someone else is telling them to do. And more go with the gut instinct that particular day, or trying to be the opposite of something. I think once we discussed Apple last week and the Mac computers and stuff. I think they sell their brand because people want to belong to them.
Yeah, I actually am an Android user, and that was kind of the thing for me to not be like
exactly
having the expensive iPhone just because everyone else had it as well. So I guess that was one of those things not to be put in that how did you say?
Pigeonhole.
Yeah, pigeonhole.
Duvhålet.
Yeah, exactly.
Not in that, you don't want to be in that bracket. A bracket är som fack eller parentes egentligen. Parentes kan man säga parenthesis också, men ofta så används det som så säger man brackets, och det kan också då vara som ihopklumpningar av genre eller olika fack.
Ja.
Nu visar jag väldigt mycket med händerna här.
Do you use brackets if you would write a text and you need to like parenthesis? How do you pronounce it? Oh, that's a hard word.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you say that even if you're writing it in text?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a new one.
Yeah, I think you put me on the spot there, but yes, I think I would.
Okay.
Så, och det stavas precis som det låter. BRACKETS.
Okay.
Men man har ju oftast, det finns ju ental naturligtvis, men man har ju oftast inte, när man använder en text så är det ju 2. För att det är ena och andra. Men säger man alltid 2? Du, det ska titta på förresten. Jag återkommer om det. Dubbelkolla om det faktiskt är ett sånt där ord som man alltid har, som precis som money och news och information. Det finns vissa ord som alltid är ental eller alltid är massantal, om man säger.
Brackets. Ja, det låter ju bra. Om man exempelvis ska säga men som en parentes, så om man ska prata om det.
Jaha, du tänker så, ja, just det. Det finns som ental då specifikt när man använder som en kategori av någonting. Läser jag nu innantill. Och sen så används det i flertal om det är när det ska omsluta vissa ord eller så i en text. Men du sa parenthesis. Hur i svenska texten, hur hade du tänkt att du skulle referera till någonting inom parentes eller så?
Nej, men jag tänkte bara, ibland kan man ju säga det, men som en parentes till det jag precis sa. Så eller sådär. Ja, det är väl inte jätteviktigt, det bara vara någonting
som...
men
det var, ja, men som
det kan vara bra att veta.
Ja. Då hade jag inte sagt med parenthesis. Jag hade inte använt bracket heller, men jag tänkte sagt det.
Man kanske inte uttrycker sig så på engelska.
Nej, men det finns ju något liknande.
Side note.
Alltså mer som ett sidospår.
As a side note to what I just said. Kanske man säger.
Ja. Nu står mig gärna still. Vad hade jag sagt? Jag översätter det oftast inte så rakt av. Så då är det svårt att tänka, vad hade jag sagt där istället? Ja, jag återkommer till det, säger jag. Så att,
det blir bra.
Jag ska ju sätta er i arbete så småningom och då kan jag fundera lite på det. Antingen, om jag börjar liksom, nu har jag svävat ut på någonting här. Och då skulle jag snarare kunna, liksom, om jag ska be om ursäkt för det, så skulle jag kunna säga, oh sorry, I digress. För digress är verbet, eller digression är att man liksom, oj, jag åkte ut på kanten här, det var inte meningen, nu ska jag komma tillbaka igen. Men i det, så som du säger, så tänker jag mer att alltså
jag återkommer.
As a siding, could you say that? Or is that mer växelspår, typ som trafikspår?
SIDING, eller?
Ja.
Ingen aning. Inte hört ordet. Men det låter ju som att jag ska slå upp. Siding.
Sidospår, växelspår, står det.
Short track. Jaha. Ja, nej, det verkar bara användas som just själva, alltså järnvägen då i så fall. I det
ja, okej.
Siding, tack för nytt ord. Kul. Roligt. Nej, det där ska jag tänka på. Tack så mycket. So you, going back to the brands, after I digressed, you went with Android, for instance, instead of with Apple. Fine. Well, what kind of? Can you give me an example of something you've watched or seen in a magazine or listened to, that something in the last few weeks that you thought, oh yeah, that's an interesting brand, or I want to learn more about that. A product or a brand that's sparked your interest.
Oh, that's very hard to answer. I actually don't. I have a memory like a goldfish, so everything. Yeah, just the thing that's in my head right now is the assignment. So I haven't really thought about anything else that much. So I can't come up with anything really that I have watched or seen.
Nope, that's fine. That's cool. Thank you. Anyway, I think that goes for all of us. I think either you focus all your concentration, all your attention on a specific thing, or because like the assignment, that's something that's a task that you have to fulfill, etc. It could also be that, and that's called something specific that I should know the word of. It's something system. Det kan jag inte på nu. Where your mind focuses on things that are relevant to you. So if you're trying to become pregnant, all you'll see around you is pregnant people. If you're looking for a new car, like if you're looking for, instead of just searching for Volvos, you will look at all the cars everywhere around you, because you're looking for something that's, what could that be? What kind of brand is that? What kind of color is that? What kind of model is it? Things that as soon as you've bought your car, you're not interested. You will stop seeing cars or bikes or whatever else you're focusing your mind on. And I'm sure, considering what I promise I wouldn't mention my phone again, but it's not to do with the accident as such. But if I was looking for a new phone, I would probably, even though they might show a phone commercial every night on TV, I probably wouldn't see it until I'm in the market for buying a new one. Unless I think if I, for whatever reason, think that the commercial is really poor, like there's something I don't like about it, if it's the actor or if it's the message or whatever, then it's going to stick with me because it's bad, because I don't like it. And do you then agree that that all publicity is good publicity?
I don't know, because you can look at it like this. If it gets a lot of attention because it's bad, maybe someone will think that it's good. Because different people attract.
Oh yes, I understand what you mean.
Different people like different things, I guess. So you can see it in that way, but I wouldn't agree that all publicity is good publicity. No. It depends on how you look at it, I guess.
Yeah. Thank you. Is there anyone else that want to share anything about a brand that they've or a product that they've spotted and they think, oh yes, I definitely feel that that's applying to me?
I have an example. I usually purchase clothes at Dressman, and their ads are quite simple. It's they have a theme where they just have well-dressed models without any message, just talking or laughing or something. I think it's quite characteristic for Dressman to do that. They have that theme in a lot of commercials or ads, and it's like somehow the opposite of marketing. It doesn't really. It's so simple in a way that it has the opposite effect, that it doesn't try to sell you things. It just shows you pictures in a way, saying that this could be you if you want to, but it's not. You don't have to, and in a way that draws you. So because I'm quite selective when it comes to marketing, and this type of simple, very obvious marketing where you just have a large photograph is kind of interesting in a way. So this is why I purchased clothes at Dressman, but also because they make good products, of course.
Yes, it's good products, fairly priced, generally nice staff in the shops. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
But they're clever with their message, though. Like you say, it's more of a, we're here for you if you want us.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
also, generally, they've got different kind of styles, so that you could, if you're a suit and shirt kind of person, or a suit and tie, that we have that. If you're chinos and a polo shirt, we have that. And they normally have different ages as well, so they could be a young dude and a grandfather kind of in the same picture.
Yeah, exactly.
Stylish
They,
gentlemen.
yeah, exactly. So I guess that it's the marketing style is subtle. You understand why they're doing it, but it's not too obvious. So it's more. I think it grabs your attention in a subtle way, which draws you naturally. Like if they were too obvious with their marketing, then maybe it would have the reversed effect. So yeah, Dressman.
Cool. Thank you very much. Excellent. And from that, does anyone else want to share anything? Good. First, I'm going to present here if I can get this up, I think. Nej, inte den. Sorry. Wrong. This one. First impressions last. I can scroll past this. I haven't yet, but I will put this up in ping pong as well, so you can see the whole screen at the same time. It's quite large at the moment. Can you read that all right? If I downsize a little bit. Is that too small for you?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay, so I'll give you, I think you can see all the colors now, right? Even the last couple of bits on brown. I'll give you 2-3 minutes to just have a quick read of this, the different colors, and what this, I will explain more about it in a few minutes. So just take 2 minutes to have a read of this. All right. Have you had time to read through it?
Yes.
Okay. So do you reckon first impressions last? This is called first impressions last, and it's something obviously to do with colors. And I think, well, in this in our westernized countries at least, most of the colors are perhaps linked to the logo or specific colors in a store or whatever. But do you think that you're drawn to different colors when it comes to different brands, consciously or subconsciously? And considering I can't see your names or whatever, please feel to just unmute and share. I'll leave it's an open microphone. Go for it.
I think that the color on the logos actually say a lot about the company. I felt that the one written about the blue color is actually quite accurate and something I've thought of before.
Sorry, did you say you have thought about it before?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And very many blue logos. Almost too much, I think.
Mm. So if you were a company, what kind of logo would you have? What color?
Probably black or green, because that's my favorite colors. So I guess that is representable of me, but it depends on which product or service I provide, of course, because I want the logo to say something. And yeah, you should get the right feeling while looking at the logo.
Yep. And okay, thank you for sharing. And for all of you again, do you think, is there anything in this particular description, like for these colors? Black isn't mentioned, but the other colors, is there anything that you don't agree with here? Anything that's specifically said about, I don't know, do you feel that orange is bold and bright, or is there anything in here that you don't agree with, that you have a different take on?
Yeah, I have a thought here about the purple. It says that it's the color of leadership and luxury. I would say maybe luxury or some sort of when it comes to festivities or things like parties, some sort of artistic approach. But I wouldn't say that it's a color of leadership. I don't think of leadership when I see purple. That's the only thing. That's the only thing that I reacted to. But as for the others, I would agree that it's most likely the way it's described.
Good. No, I agree with you with regards to purple, actually. But for me also, purple is a little bit of a church color for me. I don't know what I base that upon, but I feel, yes, it's something to do with the Christian faith for me. I don't know why. And I wouldn't say it's necessarily leadership either. That's a little bit too girly, I think, for me.
Yeah, exactly. And I would agree that it is more of a spiritual color, maybe, considering the colors used in churches in general. So yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's basically it.
And I mean, I don't know when this was put together. To be honest, this is probably an old PDF. But would you reckon that feelings about colors actually change as well over time? So if I showed this to the class of, if you're the class of 2020, if I show this to the class of 2045, would they feel the same? In 25 years' time, would we have the same kind of feeling?
That's difficult. That's an interesting question, in a way. But I guess colors are lights in different vibrations, and unless you're colorblind, I guess generally there is an overall agreement about, for example, that the color red is the color of love or passion, perhaps, and that blue is authority and police colors in general, law and order.
Yes.
I think the colors, I wouldn't, unless something very, if in this futuristic scenario there was like a very dramatic event with certain colors being seen or used, I guess that would change something permanently. But otherwise, I would say colors remain roughly the same for most people.
It's just an interesting thought. And pink isn't there either. I would say we've seen an increase in pink unicorns and flamingos are probably more prevalent now than they were 50 years ago.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe it's I don't know what exact. I would say that pink. I remember that pink was actually a fashion, even when I was younger, even for men for that part. So I think pink is exclusive nowadays, in a way, and but still common in another.
Yes, and I suppose it's, if you go back to say the film Grease, they had the pink ladies and they had pink jackets, and so in the 50s it was probably also a hip and trendy color, I suppose, something that was out of the corporate touch. Now, if I want to sell something that's if I started a tech company, I don't know, computer something or another, I would probably not go for pink unless I was trying to attract, specifically trying to attract female customers, because it doesn't gel with what kind of message I want to come out with, what kind of, how my business or my industry should be depicted or portrayed. But it doesn't necessarily have to be the logo either. It could be that you get a pink feeling for something or a blue feeling from something, even though, because I was going to go back to the Volvo owner. It was Agnes.
Yep.
Yeah. Where would you see Volvo if you had to pick a color?
Oh, that's hard. I would
because they had silver in their logo.
Blue.
Yeah, I agree with you. I see Volvo as a blue brand, but they don't have blue in their logo, do they?
Didn't they have it before, like in the
possibly.
Yeah, I think so. I'm not sure. But it's like calming and safe.
Yeah.
In some ways. But to me, green is also a calming color.
Yeah.
I know in many hospital environments they paint the walls green because it's common.
Yeah, and links back to nature.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and I think also that could also be a spiritual color. If you're going to who was the meditation person? Was it Louise? I'm unsure. Never mind. Often I can see like the pictures for if I'm listening to Storytel, for instance, or if I'm going through the library database for ebooks to listen to or audiobooks to listen to. Sorry, the cover of meditation audio files are quite often linking back to green, because it's like you say, Agnes, it's a state of calm. It's tranquility, that sort of peacefulness, I suppose. But that could also be, so it's normally quite greenish or blue, but blue is more dependable, perhaps. So they mention in this text, they mention a few different brands. Can anyone think of a red brand that isn't mentioned here, which regards to Coca-Cola, Canon, or Sharp? Can you think of a red brand, either with the logo or just giving off a red feeling?
Maybe H&M.
H&M, yeah. Why do you think they have a red?
Because the logo is red.
Yeah, and why do you think that is? What do they want to show with that?
I think unconsciously you look at red things when you're going to town or in when you are in the city.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, in the shopping mall. So it's attention grabbing.
Yes.
Good. Thank you. Was that Frida?
Yes, it was.
Yeah. Excellent. If I can give you some feedback, Frida, you're using great words, but you're singing like a Swede. So try to stick to the general boring text and then go down at the end of the sentence. And that goes for all of you, actually. Think about how your how the sentence structure is working for you, and so that you can finish off either with a lower tone at the end, keep fairly steady, and then lower the tone at the end, go down at the end of the sentence, or up at the end of the question. But brilliant, thank you. So H&M, excellent. Yes, I think they're also showing a little bit of, as it's mentioned in the text, it's bold. So it's a bit of an attitude, I think. It's quite a youthful brand. They don't go they're not trying to sell clothes to grannies or granddads and grandmothers as much as to young, cool, hip people and kids. So I think it's an attitude thing, but it's also something that you're paying attention to. If you're walking through a mall or in around a town, you will see the H&M logo because it's on a white background as well. Yeah, excellent. Thank you. Can anyone think of a blue brand apart from Volvo then?
I have a typical red one first.
Oh yeah, go.
Red Bull.
Yeah, Red Bull. Yes, it's not just in the name.
And that is very like bold and competitive and go-getting, just as it says. And that it's two bulls competing in the logo, and that it's called Red Bull.
Yes.
So
but that's exactly it. So you can achieve more if you drink that powerful drink.
Yeah.
Yeah. Brilliant. Yeah, very good. Can you think of a blue one as well?
Oh, I don't know really. A blue one.
Otherwise, we'll pass the buck to someone else.
Yeah, I think like WaterAid, but that doesn't
fit
the things it says here in the text.
Well, dependability, trustworthiness, I think they would go for, wouldn't they?
Yeah, that's an author. Yeah. And trust.
So yes, so you can trust if you sponsor them, you know that it's going to go to a good cause. You can trust them with your money.
Yeah.
Yeah, good choice. Have we got any? I can only think of one, actually. Can anyone think of a purple brand?
Maybe Milka, the chocolate making company, or milk for that matter.
Yeah. Funny that they have picked. So there's a big chocolate factory as well, Cadbury's, as mentioned in the text. They've also gone with purple or lilac. Why do you think Milka has the purple color then?
It's an interesting question because it doesn't really, in a way, it doesn't really remind you of any of their products. But if we use this PDF here, I would say that it is a comforting color in a way. It's quite welcoming and charming, because purple is really not a hostile color in any way. But it's a good question, actually.
No, well,
I don't know why.
I think they're going for a little bit of luxury as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Because at least on some of the packets, they have a gold rim, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
My immediate thought was Löfbergs Lila.
Yeah.
But and I think it's the same thing there. They go for the purple because it's luxury coffee.
Yeah, exactly, and it's exclusive.
Yeah.
In a way.
Yeah.
But I would say it's quite abstract in a way.
It's all to do with feeling, isn't it? Maybe they I don't know. Maybe they had a marketing department that really liked purple. Who knows?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But it's the same with Premier League. It's this sport channel, or the league, which sport channels stream, and then there's a lion head, which is purple. I guess that too is some sort of exclusive sports channel, which you have to pay for in order to watch high quality sports. So I guess it's the same there, because the purple is not really a sports color, at least not necessarily.
Interesting. So it could be, like you say, exclusivity, or something to do with you getting a luxury experience or a high quality experience.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Something that you wouldn't normally find in somewhere else. So yeah.
Good, excellent. Thank you very much. Can someone pick? Thank you for sharing. Can someone pick something yellow? Apart from Kodak.
I was directly thinking about McDonald's.
Yeah. Okay.
And Snapchat also.
Yep. And I think both of those probably go with the first sentence here, with the yellow,
exactly.
the useful and fun color.
Yeah.
And also because they've got red as well, so I think that's more to do with the attention grabbing and bold. But
yeah,
the yellow, I suppose, they've also got a clown in their kind of concept. So yeah, that fits perfectly. Excellent. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
What about orange? Can anyone think of well, I'm not sure what's mentioned. GlaxoSmithKline, yeah. But anyone else? There's a phone brand in England that's called Orange. You're not allowed to mention that because that's too simple. What else can you come up with?
Sorry.
Sorry, I can hear two of you.
Oh, go ahead, Christopher. It was me.
I was thinking about Fanta, the drink.
Fanta, yeah. And what do you think that's would that fit with what's being said about orange here?
Yes, I think it's describing the taste of the orange, basically.
Yeah, and it's perhaps fresh and energetic as well.
Yeah, that's right. Sorry, Marcus, it's your turn.
Oh, thank you. Well, I was also thinking about a company called Orange, but they're very famous in the music industry because they make guitar amps. So it fits perfectly to the description. They are are generally black, I would say. So they immediately catches the eye, and you see that it is the brand, and very lively, and I think it suits well to rock music, and it feels bright and lively as it was written on the document.
Excellent. I'm surprised because we've got some new bike stands, as in bicycle stands, close to the marketplace here in Varberg. And every time I walk past them, I'm thinking, I wonder why they're orange. And I know where they are, because it's Sparbanken who have put them up, and they've got their corporate color is orange with the oak tree in the middle. But every time I'm walking past them, I'm thinking that just doesn't fit. It doesn't fit with the environment. It doesn't where they're based. It doesn't fit with the bank system. I just don't. I don't know. It doesn't. I don't think it's suited with orange. I would much prefer a green bank for some reason. I don't think orange is perfect for Swedbank or Varberg Sparbank. But that was what popped up into my head. Brown is a funny color as well. I think that's difficult to almost to get away with in a logo. But perhaps nowadays it could be more to do with the environment.
I've got one.
Yeah, go on.
M&M's.
M&M's.
Yeah, they have a brown color, but I think it's because chocolate is brown, and I think that might be the only reason why.
Perhaps, yes. And also they've got a lot of other colors generally to show off what the sweets look like.
Yeah, exactly.
So maybe they need something different to show off in where others have done the opposite. So they would have a brown background or a black background and then a vibrant color. They've done the opposite.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's going back to the chocolate, and you should be focusing on the flavor, etc.
Yeah.
Because I don't think. I'm not sure, but I don't think I would really say that M&Ms go with solidity, neutrality, and straightforwardness.
No, I wouldn't say that either. But I was thinking, do Nespresso have a brown logo as well, or is it black?
I don't know, actually.
I'm not sure. But it feels like they chose the color because of what they are selling, the product, more than what brown means.
Yeah, I could only come up with this UPS. I can't see another brown logo. Can anyone else come up with a brown logo or a brown feeling of a company? I would have never thought of M&Ms. Well done.
I ate some yesterday, that's why.
Good. And I hope they tasted yummy.
Yes, they do.
Okay, so last color then, green, in this, at least according to this PDF. What kind of green logos could you think of, or green brands?
Spotify.
Oh, is that green?
Yes, it's green.
Okay. I can't see the logo in front of me now. So, well done. What do you think they're going for then? What kind of sensation do they want to instill within you?
That's a good question. I don't really know. I don't think they want to use it as the color of money.
Although they're making lots.
Yeah. Nowadays, yes. But that's a tricky one. I don't know.
Perhaps it could do with the what we talked about before, like calmness, tranquility. That you can focus on whatever they're playing in your headphones.
Yes, that's right. It can be something like that. They got a sound in the symbol. They got some kind of sound wave, 3 lines. So it's in a green dot. So yes.
Good, thank you.
Thank you.
it says at the the last sentence, right at the end, it says also it could be very political, and I suppose, I mean, the Green Party, such all over the world, they would, even if they have different names, the kind of environmentalists and like Greenpeace, for instance, but political parties generally have, in most countries, they generally have a Green Party as well, even if the name is something different. They're known as the Green Party, so it's turning political because it's often to do with nature and ecology, sustainability, that sort of thing.
I have a different thought on the green color as well.
Yeah.
Because I think in technology, it seems like it's always the green color that says when something is working and when it's go or even stop lights. So I think most of us feel when it's working, it's green.
Yes. Yeah, you're right. I would agree. Can you think of a tech brand then, apart from Spotify? Something else that's quite often tech brands would have, say, a black or a gray logo, but the feeling could still be green.
Yeah, I can't think of any logos, but I think they use it a lot in the interface and stuff like that.
Android actually has a green logo.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, clever. Very good. Thank you. You're obviously, you've been noticing these colors probably more than you realized you were. And the kind of, I mean, we all like or dislike different colors. So just because in my head, perhaps, I do like money and nature, and green happens to be my favorite color. So maybe I'm drawn to green, and I'm aware of that. But I could also be drawn to red for the fact that we said before that it's attention grabbing. It's focused on it easily when I'm walking through the streets of Varberg. I can see a red logo very easily. I would probably be drawn to it on a shelf in a supermarket, for instance, even though I'm not necessarily going for the competitive or go-getting attitude at that particular time. It's more of I can see the logo or I can see the brand. And also the kind of graphic design around it, the kind of graphical portfolio or profile that they're using. It could give off colors even though they're not being as outspoken with the colors. They might not have blue writing, but the feeling could be blue. That's what I want you to make you aware of. Now we did this kind of exercise together instead of in groups of 2 and 2, because I think it's more interesting to hear what everyone else is saying. Looking at the bottom, just briefly, it says choose some of the following businesses and discuss what corporate colors would be most appropriate for them. You can also discuss other businesses, but if we just pick on a couple, you mentioned tech companies already. If we, for instance, take a language school, considering that's what we're doing right now, what kind of color would you pick? There's no right or wrong here, but if you're going roughly by what they say in the PDF, what kind of color would you pick for a language school?
I just have a thought there. When I was thinking about these colors, because I also think that the combination of two colors can give a completely different feeling than for just the yellow color. When I think of IKEA, for instance, the yellow and the blue, of course, we think of Sweden. They represent Sweden in a way. So I would think that a language school would have to have lots of colors to represent different countries.
Good, very good thinking. Yes. Brilliant. And what about, considering this is where you're heading into, advertising agency?
Advertising agency. Then I would go with something a bit more cooler, maybe black.
Yeah.
A lot of black in advertising.
Yes. In arts overall, I think any aesthetics, I think this any aesthetical or artistic profession, they tend to go for black, or deep gray or something like this. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. I think I know a lot of agencies that has black, so seems to work.
Yep. And Christopher, what about a music shop? Considering you come from that industry.
Yes, I would go for black, I think, also.
So it's the cool and artistic thing again.
Yeah, I think that. Yeah, that's the best.
Right, brilliant. Thank you.
Thank you.
Just to jog your mind or make you think outside the box a little bit with regards to what it's not just a message with words or just with an image. It's a combination of both. You're selling a sensation, as we said before. You're selling an experience, a feeling, and colors and colors when it's written down or when you can see a picture of something, then the colors matter a great deal. If you were in a physical shop or at a hotel or in a restaurant, then the noise, the sounds could alter your experience quite drastically, and also the scent, the smell, the fragrances. So quite a lot of hotels, for instance, they have a specific scent that is used in SAS Radisson. The Radisson hotel chain, I'm sure, has the same sort of scent, regardless whether you're walking into a hotel in Stockholm or in Beijing. I quite often stay at Intercontinental in London, and they have a specific scent that I know is the same if I go to New York or if I go to some other place that is part of their hotel group. So that you should be instantly recognizing the fact that you walked into a nice lobby, similar kind of feel to it as well, quite airy. Not necessarily the same colors, but the scent should be the same. So there should be fresh flowers and a specific scent that's reminding me that I've come to this particular hotel chain. And then the colors also play into action, but that could be more local, I suppose. I also want to mention that these kind of what we're saying here is very much westernized view on it. I'm wondering if we went across to China and asked the same questions, would they have the same feeling towards certain colors? Probably not. The Asian population might see things completely different. Right. And can I share again? How do I do this? That didn't work, did it? Oh, here we go. Good. Why does that pop up in that particular order? Okay, can you see that? Can you see that headline of building a strong brand? Oh, that's good. Building a strong brands. I'll change that before I put it up on ping pong later. Can you see that headline? You see my slide?
Yes.
Yes.
Good. So, reading out loud then, what do you think could affect or influence someone's perception of a brand? And we spoke a little bit about that now with regard to colors, but what else? And why is it important to keep on strengthening your brand? That you can't just create something like Coca-Cola and then sit back and relax and wait for the customers to come. Why do you think it's important to keep on building upon your customer relationships or your specific brand, to strengthen your brand, to highlight certain things and whatever? It says take 5 minutes to discuss with your partners, which will be interesting. I am going to divide you in group shortly, but you take 5 minutes to just have a think about this yourself for a second. Right. What do you think? What do you think to this then, guys? Apart from the color, what do you think could affect or influence someone's perception of a brand? What is perception in Swedish?
Uppfattning.
Ja, och affect or influence. Vad betyder det?
Påverka, eller påverka och influera.
Jättebra, ja.
I would say that everything a person experience that is related to the brand will influence the perception.
Yeah.
So, for instance, our teacher talked about the Italian brand Stone Island that makes clothing. It became popular amongst British and European football hooligans. So that will influence the brand as well. So I would say everything that could be related to the brand will influence it.
Yes, either your own experience or, like you say, someone else has done something that you don't like, and then you will probably back away from it. Or if someone tells you, "Oh, I've just bought a new phone and it's for some reason it's not working," you're going to be influenced by what they're having to say, I suppose. Either to find out that either to try to prove them wrong, or to you go with the same idea that they've got, that, oh, okay, so I don't know, a Volvo car doesn't work and therefore I'm never going to buy one. So yeah, it could be a whole range of things, and that makes your job or your future role perhaps even more interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So why is it important to keep on strengthening that brand then?
I would say, if I can fill in, that since the world is always moving in a changing way, it's developing, and I would say that it's important to keep up with that change, since it's constant. There's a need to follow the trends. There's a need to follow what's happening around the world. And it's also important to follow what people actually write and say about your brand, so that you can reply to that, and so that you could improve by that feedback.
Yes.
Or using that feedback. So.
Yes, absolutely. So things that are outside your control, as such, you market a product, you launch a product, you market it, you have different campaigns, you have perhaps different discounts, whatever. But then something happens outside of your control, something that you're not involved with, but someone says your brand is really good or someone says it's really bad. For whatever reason, it doesn't really matter why. You have to come up with a response to that.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's reviews, they mean a lot, especially customer reviews. So it's important. In a way, it improves the quality of the service or the product that you're selling, because you know that if you don't do a good job, then you will get a negative review. And there's a general rule that negative commentary is always more heavy than positive. I think it's like 5 to 1. You have to, you have to have 5 positive comments to beat 1 negative. So I would say that this is some sort of enforcing guarantee for the brand to make sure to deliver quality content or quality products. So at the same time, the brand is a victim of trends. So influential people can affect the brand by writing an article. Then you, as a brand, you are forced to choose to either to reply or comply or resist it. So in a way, popular people control or at least influence brands today, depending on how far they reach with their customers. So.
Yeah. Yes, I agree. And I think also the likes of TripAdvisor, or there are many of those kind of databases where the readers, followers, visitors, whatever, go or group together and can say whatever they want to say without actually having to discuss it with the brand beforehand. So you don't have to, if you stay at a hotel, you don't have to do the awkward thing of speaking to the manager. You could just go online afterward and say they were really rude and the hotel room was really dirty, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, exactly.
And it could be written in anger, but somewhere the hotel does have to respond to that. And it would have been nicer to do that in the reception, and you could have offered something there and then, and not broadcast that to the whole world. So I think those kind of things in various industries will lead you to have to, like you say, either reply, respond, comply with whatever they're asking you to do. Yeah, somehow or another influence or counteract what's going on outside your control.
Yeah, exactly. And I would say that it's in a way it's a big freedom for the customer to be able to write a review rather than face the staff and say that this was bad and I'm not satisfied. But at the same time, I would say that it's very rough to have a brand today and to survive, because there's always someone who is negative and someone who the customer doesn't always get satisfied. So
No.
I would say that it's in a way it's fair, because your customers pay a lot to brands today. The consuming culture is very big today. We consume more than ever, and it's only fair that the customers receive what they deserve, what they pay for. But at the same time, as a brand or as a corporate, you are subjugated to all sorts of critique, whether or not it's fair. Like it doesn't matter if 5,000 people say that your phone is amazing. If there's one negative review, then it's all for nothing.
Yeah. I suppose with the internet, the whole world is your oyster. You can reach customers all over the world in a flash like this, right? On the other hand, it could also ruin you very quickly, because like you said, in the past, maybe that one disgruntled customer would go into a shop and say, well, my phone isn't working, I'm angry about it. And that would be the end of it. He would get some kind of compensation. He might to his neighbor and his family, and a few friends, but that would be as far as it goes. Whereas now with the internet, they could broadcast that, and even without trying too hard, they could reach so many more people, which means that the brand would have to counteract that in various ways. On the other hand, just as much as the brand can reach everywhere under the sun, they could also counteract it quite quickly. So if they choose and show that they're listening to what the customers have to say, and they're open to being responsive and wanting to come up with solutions, then that could also play in their favor and get more publicity.
Yeah, absolutely. I believe that just like you're saying, being responsive is a very positive sign. Like there's nothing more worse than seeing a lot of reviews with a critique that hasn't been replied to or hasn't been responded to. I think I see that a lot, especially in Google reviews. But I guess the staff doesn't really have time to reply to all sorts of comments, but I guess it's very vital because it shows that you care about the customer, even if the customer is exaggerating. Because I guess the passive aggressiveness is the very dangerous thing that a corporate could do, even if they know they're right.
Absolutely, yeah. You don't have to. The customer isn't always right, but he needs to be made to feel as though we're listening to you.
Yeah, exactly.
we take it on board. We're staying polite. We're addressing your needs, whatever that may be. We can't change the whole production for one complaint, but we can make sure that that's taken up in our next production run as a discussion point to see what we can do in a different way, perhaps. There's ways around making the customer feel like he's perfectly VIP and you've taught us something important. And then whether we choose to use it in the future is a different matter. Very good. Thank you. Excellent. I want you to bear this in mind for our next assignment. I'm just going to stop sharing there. It's almost lunchtime. So before we go to lunch, I'm going to split you into groups because we're going to do a session after lunch. Oh, actually, Felix has just disappeared as well. Might be better if we take lunch now, meet back at 1, and then I'll describe what the plan for the afternoon is. How is that okay for you guys?
Sounds great.
Yes, great.
Excellent. So meet me back here at 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Have a nice lunch then. Enjoy the sunshine.
Thank you.
You too. Thank you.
Bye.